There's a lot of lunacy in the markets, but how about that natural gas trade, Dan? Is this just due to the weather and the fact that New York is now Alaska? What's happened over the past 3 days?
Well, first of all, this reminds me of the old days, natural gas in the pits, 2004,
Right.
5, 6, 7. The moves are astronomical. We had a 30-cent move yesterday, another 15-cent move today. These are the kind of natural gas moves that are related more to trader volatility than to weather volatility, in fact. Now, the weather has certainly been the biggest piece of the puzzle going into this trade, coming into December, January, and now into February. But there is so much trader action going on around this, particularly in the multi-timed ETFs that are running through the natural gas trade, that a lot of the times what you'll find is these big moves, this kind of volatility is related to traders just getting stuck. They're either stuck long or they're stuck short, and you watch these massive runs go in both directions.
Well, we saw plenty of that last week, but let's get stock specific. What are you looking at right now?
Well, what I think is that there is actually a basic fundamental reason to think there's a floor under natural gas here, okay? We have sequestration that's going on. We have all of the E&P players all over the country moving away from natural gas and into natural gas liquids and into shale crude. And that is going to bring a floor underneath. Plus we have another approval of an LNG plant going in Louisiana. That makes 4. These are due to come online both at the end of the year and the start of 2015. In a lot of ways, I think that there is a bottom underneath the natural gas price. And in fact, we have to try and start buying these dips that we see, for example, yesterday when we saw the price come from 520 down to 460. Those are the kinds of dips, either in natural gas futures alone, which is what I do, or in some stocks. And in the stocks, what I would recommend is particularly a stock like Southwestern, which I still think is a very undervalued natural gas play, dedicated natural gas player in the Marcellus and in the Fayetteville particularly. And those are the kinds of stocks that I'm looking at.
And finally, let's get back to the underlying. If we continue to get this weather, in New York tonight it's supposed to go down to 6 degrees. Thursday, they're expecting 8 inches of snow. What happens here?
Again, I think this is a trader-based kind of move. So what you have is a lot of people who are playing the long play on a cold weekend, more snow on Thursday and so forth. So I would not expect an enormous kickback up because most of the traders are long. Again, everything becomes counterintuitive. Last week we had everybody who was expecting the temperature to go down, and so they were long, and in fact the market dropped precipitously. Then again, you have lots of people who are standing there saying the weather's going to moderate, they get short, and then you get a big rally in the stocks, in the natural gas futures. So again, it's a bit counterintuitive, but what you want to focus on is when the price of the natural gas comes off. Those are the times to get into both the futures and to get into those stocks that I'm talking about.
All right, thanks very much, Dan. For TheStreet in New York, or is that Alaska? I'm Joe Malandrino.